Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. This is my first video of the new year, 2025. Thanks for being here. It's January 7th, 2025, and this is my first video of the new year. Recently, I was visiting my mom in Hawaii. It's where I was born. It's where she still lives. I was going through some old stuff, and I actually found one piece of AD&D that I had forgotten about that was in my old closet. It was the Monstrous Compendium Volume 1. Let me go get it for you. I brought this back with me, put it in my luggage. It's in okay shape. It's nothing great. It's when they put these in these strange folios, it's a 3-ring binder, and I never really liked this format, and I never really played second edition all that much. I preferred first edition. It's got cool, this is Parkinson art. It's pretty cool. Overall, I had forgotten that this was there, and every time I go back, I'd look at it. But I just thought I'd share that with you. It's, it's nice to be back. I was taking a break. I obviously haven't made a video in a couple of weeks, which feels both good and bad at the same time. I have been busy with life, unfortunately. I'm still looking for work, so that's sort of my full-time job right now. This to me is sort of secondary, even though I want it to be more primary in my life. I have to focus a little bit right now. So anyway, thank you for being here. I'm going to make this video short. I just wanted to give an update on what's going on with the contest. So I had a 1,000 subscriber contest. I have 60 entries, and that includes names that were duplicated because I had 4 ways to enter. So there are a few people who have, 2 names in there. There's about 2 people that have 4 names, and there's 2 or 3 people that have 3 names in there. And the reason for that was because in my official rules, I said there was 1 way to enter, and that was the official form where you gave me your email address and your first name, and that would be your official entry. And joining my newsletter was another way to enter. If you use the same email address, I could connect them. And the 3rd and 4th way, we're looking at Easter eggs from some of my older videos. So there were a few of you that actually did that. I was actually a little surprised, but also pleasantly surprised that that happened. So this video is going to be short, just to let you know that I'm back from my vacation. I'm in full swing. When I was on the plane flying to Hawaii about a week ago, I actually typed up in my app, in my notes app, every possible video I could make for each month from January this month all the way to December of this year. And I try to go for 4 or 5 different videos, and I might share that with my newsletter subscribers or my Patreon. I do have a Patreon. I have, I think, 10 members now, which is great. So if you want to check out my Patreon, please do. I am planning a few things to give away to the higher tiers of Patreon. The video that I'm working on next is actually around Gene Wells's module B3, The Palace of the Silver Princess. That's the orange cover, not the green version that Tom Molde had to rewrite back in 1981. So that is my upcoming video, my next video, probably coming out next week, I'm hoping, depending on, I have to write the script. I'm actually going to start writing it tonight. Good morning. It's technically the next day. Today's Tuesday, January 8th. I did start writing the script to my Palace of the Silver Princess video that's coming out next week, but I didn't get as far as I had liked. However, I did want to put out this video, and this is a transition point because when I was looking over my edit, this part was very abrupt. The part I go into next just came in too soon. So this is a little setup for it. As I was watching some of the YouTube videos yesterday, like Professor Dungeon Master talking about Guy, of how to be a great GM, and then I watched John, the basic expert, talk a little bit about it. There are a lot of people talking, a lot of dungeon tubers talking about some of these decisions that are being made by long-standing dungeon tubers. So I wanted to transition this part to say, and I hope you like what's coming up. Thanks. Professor Dungeon Master recently posted a video about Guy closing up his channel. Guy has a YouTube channel called How to Be a Great GM, And his last video announced that when he was in London, he went to visit the office, the YouTube office there, and they basically asked him what his next channel was. And he said, well, I don't really have one. And they said, well, you're done, Guy. We're not going to promote your channel anymore. The strange thing about that is that Guy has 238,000 subscribers. Why wouldn't YouTube want to keep promoting him? And the answer is probably because they feel that Guy has sort of done everything he can with regards to content around how to be a great game master. And if you look at other people's channels, like my channel is very new. I've only been doing this for about a year, but my content is sort of all over the place. And what I mean by that is that some of the videos, well, at least most of the videos I script. This one is not scripted. This is completely ad lib. And also the production of my videos vary depending on how much time I put into them. I do like scripting my videos, and I will continue to script videos. In fact, my next video on Palace of the Silver Princess is going to be fully scripted. I don't have a teleprompter, but I will be reading my screen. Earlier today, I was watching John, the basic expert, talk about these YouTubers who are seemingly quitting, and he had some interesting things to say about it.
Is the TTRPG bubble going to burst? I think why a lot of these channels are dying is they've never adapted their content and have never grown in their channel with what they're doing. Like, I understand that my production quality isn't that great, but I'm always striving to like do better. I got a slightly better camera. I've tried to get better at speaking. I've tried to get better at the games themselves, like understanding what they're about. I've tried to do research into history, and this led me to think about how I've never really made a channel about how to be a great GM. My channel's never really focused on that. I've made a few videos here and there about advice. Those exist. Everyone makes those videos. But even then, I feel like I always give advice that is so counterintuitive and different from the sort of normative advice that you get. For instance, I talk about zero prep, which is something not many other people talk about.
So I agree with what John is saying there. He's talking specifically about his own channel, which has over 6,000 subscribers, which is 6 times greater than my channel. He's been doing it a little bit longer, but his content is very consistent, but also very interesting because he doesn't stick to one format. Sometimes he's talking very specifically about just something on his mind, like in that video. He didn't script that at all. And he's also talking about how when you get to a certain size as a YouTuber, your channel becomes your life. It becomes sort of your business or your job. And the money that you make in that channel, you depend on that money. Now, I'm not making any money on my channel, not yet anyway. I plan to, but it's probably going to be a year, maybe 2 to 3 years before I can actually make enough money with this channel to actually, have a living from it. So I can understand what John is saying. He's saying that Guy is most likely he's reached a plateau where his channel is not going to grow any further because his content hasn't changed. He's giving really good game master advice, but he has so many older videos that someone who's even new to his channel basically has a year or two's worth of information to catch up on. They don't really need any new videos from Guy. And similarly with what's happening with Professor Dungeon Master is, he recently got, some flack from the community about having, thumbnails and titles that were sensationalist and, clickbaity. And he actually explains why he does that, and it makes a lot of sense. But Professor Dungeon Master has some solid content. I watched his how to paint the Deathbringer mini, and I don't even paint miniatures anymore, but I found that very helpful. And it's not something I would normally watch, but it was entertaining and actually informative. So I do like what Professor Dungeon Master is doing. He has a good breadth of knowledge of the industry. He's traveling and he's working while he's traveling, which if you own your own business, you understand that you have to do that sometimes. You can't just take a vacation all the time. And that's one of the issues why most people don't start their own business is because it's very demanding. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy. And when you're feeling ill and down or sad and depressed, it's really hard to motivate to do that. So anyway, I just wanted to say thanks. Happy New Year. I really appreciate you being here and subscribing to my channel. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment below on what you think I should cover this year. And it could be anything from D&D lore or talking about older games, maybe like Traveler, or even some newer games like Shadow Dark. Leave me a comment below and let me know. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. See you later.